Max, we mentioned it. We had a great conversation earlier today with Shawn Bell, the head coach of the Round Rock Cedar Ridge Raiders. They get a great win, dominating win over Killeen Shoemaker last night. And here was our conversation with Coach Bell. We are pleased to be joined by the head coach of the 3-0 Round Rock Cedar Ridge Raiders. It is Coach Shawn Bell. Coach, appreciate your time, taking some time out on a Friday to talk with us.
Well, I appreciate it. It's always, you worry about those short weeks, but it sure is nice when you play those Thursday night games and you have Friday off and kind of get to enjoy the win a little bit. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how do things change for you going into a game like this, where you are playing on a Thursday night, your first Thursday night game of the year, the only Thursday night game? How do things change with a short work week?
Well, I think anytime you the biggest thing in the high school level is keeping routine, and so anytime you break a routine, it's definitely different. And that was my biggest fear going into the week. Shoemaker's got a lot of talent and good. Last couple of years had a good solid football program and a ton of athletes running around. And not only was it a short week, it was also a holiday on Monday. Mm-hmm. So you talk about a whole adjustment to a schedule, whole change of your itinerary, your schedule, your routine, and usually that leads to some tough times for kids, but I was pleased with how we handled it, and ultimately excited about being 3-0.
Yeah, 44-7, really impressive win by Shoemaker, or by Cedar Ridge over Shoemaker, and you guys jumped on them early, 44-0 at halftime, 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. For you, how important was it for you guys to start fast in this one?
Well, that's all we talk about. Is I thought the first game against New Braunfels Canyon, we kind of felt our way through, and the scrimmage against Lake Travis, same thing. Once we started playing, I think we realized we can play with anybody in that scrimmage against Lake Travis. And so the last 2 weeks, that's kind of been our MO, is to start fast. And, against Midway, we jumped out on them pretty quick. And same thing last week. And then, at halftime, we want to give some guys some opportunity to play, and guys that do a great job for our program and get a chance for them to showcase their abilities. And, 44-0, we felt like the game was in hand, and ready to play that second half and give some guys some opportunities and get on down the road.
We came into this year knowing that you guys would have a great passing attack, and we'll talk about your outstanding quarterback in a moment. But it seems to me that the surprise for us has been your running game. C.J. Rittenhouse has been outstanding. 5 more touchdowns last night for this young man. What can you tell us about the guy who's carrying the load for you?
Well, he's a bull. I mean, you look at him and you see power. He's unbelievable in the weight room. He lives in the weight room. Very good downhill. And it's not just him. I think that's hopefully the biggest improvement. I think that I've tried to bring here is just the physicality on the offensive side of the ball from up front. We've got some guys up there with some size that are playing fast and physical, and then with CJ, not just CJ. Garrett, the quarterback, he can run, and has had a lot of good carries throughout the year. And then Semi, our other running back, he had a little bit of a bang injury first couple weeks. Got nicked a little bit, so he hadn't been quite full speed. But I think once those guys are full throttle, I think that's kind of our MO. Our MO is we want to run the football, we want to be physical, we want to play fast. So that's our goal every Friday night.
Of course, it certainly helps to have a quarterback back there like Garrett Sharp, a really, really talented kid. You know a little bit about quarterbacking. You were quarterback at China Spring and then at Baylor. As kind of a quarterback guy, what do you see when you watch Garrett Sharp?
Well, it's ironic you asked me that, because I laugh. We're complete opposites. Everything I was and am. Garrett's exactly the opposite. If a play broke down, I couldn't do anything with it. It had to be perfect, and Garrett's a kid that, I can call the worst play in the world, and it can turn into a touchdown just with his foot speed and his ability to make people miss. And so that's been a highlight for me. I've coached some tremendous quarterbacks and guys that have won a lot of football games for me, and then they could spin it and do a lot of good things. But Garrett's you snap the ball to him, you never know what's going to happen sometimes, because he's so elusive and plays 100 miles an hour. He's an ultimate competitor. Monday through Thursday, he's a laid-back, easy-going guy, but when the lights come on, he turns it up a gear. And so he's just a pleasure to coach, and he always makes me look good. That's what I like. There's no such thing as a bad play with Garrett Sharp at quarterback.
We are talking with Shawn Bell, the head coach of the Round Rock Cedar Ridge Raiders here on DCTF Live. Get involved in the conversation at hashtag DCTF Live. Coach, I imagine you don't have many complaints about your defense. Through 3 weeks, 10 points allowed and just really smothering people. That's got, especially us who watch from the statewide perspective, your defense is really raising our eyebrows.
Well, I think that's when I took the job, that's an area I saw is the speed we play with defense. I think we have some talented kids over there that run around, and Coach Robinson, our defensive coordinator, who I worked with back in 2007, is just doing a phenomenal job with them. Our defense, has had a great start, and ultimately, 3 games into it, we still got a lot of areas that we can improve on. But I think from flying around and being physical and doing things right, we've really improved in doing the small things. That's kind of been an emphasis. Is just do your assignment, don't just run around blocks, play technique, and I think our kids are really kind of buying into that a little bit. And that's the thing. That's what wins football games. You said it just a second ago. I'm a quarterback, and everybody thinks he probably wants to win 100 points to whatever, and ultimately our job is we're gonna try to play good defense, run the football, control the game, and I think that's what wins football games. I think if you can play good defense, that's the difference between being good and great. And so we hope that we can continue that trend.
You're in your first year there at Cedar Ridge, making the move to from Magnolia West. 2 questions. First of all, why was this the right move for you? What stood out about Cedar Ridge? And secondly, how have you how would you assess the transition so far?
Well, I think first, my first job was at Round Rock Stony Point, and the Cedar Ridge attendance zone actually pulls from Stony Point. So when the job came open, I had a friend on staff and people in the community that I knew and did a lot of research, and I just knew that the talent pool that Stony Point had when I was there, and then ultimately the talent that Cedar Ridge had. And I'm a Central Texas guy. I grew up around Waco area, played at Baylor, and so it's an hour 15 minutes from mom and dad, 45 minutes from grandparents, and my wife's family's all in Central Texas as well, and so location had a lot to do with it. But I think ultimately, you're a competitor. You want to coach at the highest level, and I feel confident and blessed to coach at a 6A level in a program that I feel like we can do some special things. And I thought that's what Cedar Ridge provided. As far as the transition, it's been awesome. I think it always helps winning. We haven't had a ton of adversity yet, and so you find out more when adversity hits, and you're down 14 points and you got to respond. And so some of that's still yet to be seen. But as far as the kids, I mean, they're phenomenal. It's a joy coming to work every day, and we've got some talented kids. And I sent something out on Twitter a while ago that I'm just so proud of. I mean, we got home after midnight last night. Not one kid was late the first period this morning, and so when you got kids that do things right, and good things are going to happen. And that's what I'm excited about. Is we're 3-0, but we got kids that are doing things that are right, and that's going to pay off in a huge way down the road.
How have you adjusted to wearing purple? You're a Baylor guy. How's that gone?
I can honestly say this wholeheartedly, and I was a little hesitant. I've always wondered, what it would be like to wear purple, but I can promise you this: I like it a lot more than wearing maroon than I was wearing at Magnolia West.
That does make sense. Man, you kind of run the gamut there from the from a colors perspective, and then I do want to ask you. We mentioned you were of course a quarterback at Baylor. You were once Baylor's all-time leader in touchdown passes. You're no longer that. You were beat by Robert Griffin III. Do you still hold it against RG3 that he took your record?
I tell you what, I wasn't near the player that a lot of these quarterbacks are at Baylor. I just was, every game excited to put on the helmet and represent a great university. But no, absolutely not. I just wish I could have won more games when I was there. But I think it's just a blessing to have that opportunity to even play at that level. But no, they RG3 and Petty and these guys that are coming after me. I think that's been the difference. Everybody said it's Browse, but I think as they got rid of my rear end and they started winning some football games. So no, I think that it's been awesome to see. That's been special for me and our university to see us win and turn that program around.
He is Shawn Bell. He is the head coach of the 3-0 Round Rock Cedar Ridge Raiders. Coach, appreciate your time. Congratulations on your hot start, and best of luck the rest of the way.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for all your everything you do for us.